Once you know the different types of questions, which we covered in the last video, building a form is easy. In order to get started, we'll first click on Forms at the top of the page, then Forms from the left sidebar. On the page that follows is a button to Create New Form. By clicking on that button, a new tab will open with your new blank form. At the very top of your new form, you'll notice a box for form name. The system will fill the box in with Untitled Form, as well as the date and time you created it. In order to change the name of the form, click in the box, type your form name, and then click Away. Under the form name, you'll see a list of people who have the Edit Form permission in this group and will have access to use and edit your form. Next, you'll see the creation details, which should include your name as the creator, the date of creation, and the last edit date being today. In order to start adding questions, click on the gray box which says Click to add question or text here. Once the Create New Element box is open, you can select the type of question you'd like to add by clicking on the drop-down menu under Element Type. We do recommend that you add the title of the form to the very top of every form. This information will show on screen for those filling out the form. To create the title, you will choose an element type of text. Enter the title in the box under Element Text where it says Enter Question Text. If you would like to change the font, click on the T and choose your font style. There is a font style specifically for form titles called Form Name. After you have finished, click Save to add your text. When you're ready to add your next question, hover your mouse over the space just under the form name and you will see the Click to Add Question or Text Here box appear. Click on it and the Create New Element box will appear again. Choose your question type. Let's say you choose a drop-down question. Enter your question text. Don't forget, you can choose to use a different font or add HTML to your question text as well. Next, choose if the question should be mandatory or not mandatory by clicking on the radio button next to the appropriate option. The next step will be to enter the multiple drop-down options you would like to provide as answer options. There is one very important thing to remember when adding answers to a multiple choice question. Always add the most negative answer first and the most positive answer last. For example, if the question was, did you enjoy this training? The most negative answer would be no, so no should be the first answer and yes the second. If the question was, did you experience any abuse during this training session? Then yes would be the negative answer and should be entered first. After entering your answers, click Save. If you find you've forgotten a question or need to make edits to your form after closing it, simply click Edit next to the form name to open up the form editor. I'm going to choose a form that has more questions so I can show you a few more tools that will be helpful when creating a new form. If you enter your questions and then realize that you must insert a question in between two you've already created, you can simply hover over the space between the two questions to make the Click to Add Question or Text box appear, and you can create your question. If you realize you made a mistake on one of your questions, click back onto the question to open the editing tool, make your changes, and click Save. If you need to delete the question, click on Delete to the right. If you realized you created your questions out of order, you can drag and drop questions into the correct order by hovering your mouse over the question to find the arrows to the left of the question. Click on the arrows and hold while dragging the question into its correct position. Unclick to drop the question into place. As you're building your forms, it's not uncommon to forget to indicate whether the questions are mandatory or not. Therefore, to make it easier, there's an option at the bottom of the page to Mark All Mandatory. This option can be collapsed to make more room by clicking on the arrow. Once you're done making changes to your form, you can simply close the tab. If you refresh your Forms page, you'll find your form name in your Active Forms list. It's a really great idea to have another set of eyes review your form before it's sent out and completed by evaluators, if you can. We advise this because while you can edit a form after it's been sent, the changes are retroactive. The system will not allow you to delete a question if the form has been sent and completed by evaluators because it has answers or data associated with it. It's also not a good idea to edit the wording of a question if it changes the meaning or context. This change would be retroactive and affect all previously completed forms, as the previously collected information will no longer be correct. That's all there is to building a form. Go ahead and get in there and give it a try.